Can you explain conceptually what rolling anti-lag is and what the engine, trans, and turbo are doing in the B9 under that strategy you are employing in the upcoming version that is being beta tested now?
Yep. So rolling anti-lag is essentially just building up or keeping the turbo as with as much energy available as possible while not accelerating the motor. So what you're doing is essentially just artificially spinning up the turbo, taking all of that energy and passing it again through the turbo versus putting it into the combustion chamber to accelerate the vehicle.
So you're like loading up the turbo without producing any.
It's a tight balance to get it to the point where it'll hold correctly, build the load you want, maintain the engine RPM you need at the same time, and then do everything else around it to make it a really nice, seamless transition. So that's the gist of it. It's just spinning the turbo up to a specified point while not accelerating the car. That is essentially rolling anti-lag. And then as soon as you release the rolling anti-lag, you're off, and it's full speed, full boost, ready to go.
It's almost like putting the turbo on a treadmill.
Yeah, yeah, and a big old carrot in front of it. So it's trying real hard to get there.
And then all of a sudden the treadmill stops.
The belt stops.
Assuming your ACL wouldn't just shatter.
Yeah. No. Not a perfect analogy, but yes, there's one.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, hopefully that answered the question. Yeah, and it's done through the ECU.
Yeah, we talked about this a bit last week. But so a lot of what happens is ignition advance will get reduced. That transitions the combustion energy and all the combustion gases to the further down the combustion stroke, and more of that ends up out the exhaust valves and into the turbine. And that energy is then what's spinning up the turbo instead of pushing your pistons down as much. So it's a balance of that. It's between that, getting enough energy out there, and then managing the other engine limiters, rev limiters we've got essentially to maintain the RPM smoothly.
Yeah, and obviously the first step is you go wide open throttle, right? So then you have all this air flowing through the motor.
Yep.
You have all this combustion energy, but because of the way the timing is done, no torque is produced.
Yep.
So it doesn't actually accelerate the car, which is kind of this. It's kind of like the treadmill, where you're putting the power down, but the treadmill is just spinning because it's not connected to the ground.
Yep. Yeah, and we have a lot of safeties and strategies around ours to make it as robust as possible, and it will do multiple stages of holding methods to kind of manage that, because you're obviously going to be increasing the exhaust gas temperatures a bunch in this operation. So we have a limited amount of time you can do it for, and then it'll start reducing its aggressiveness, you could say, if you're just sitting there for some reason on a thing for like 10-15 seconds. But of course, we don't also want the car just to start accelerating on its own when you don't want it to. So lots of complex things in there to get it to happen in a very if an OEM were to do it way.